drowning, a terrifying death experience. It is dangerous, and as a warning, don't try to replicate any of the actions in the following video. I am not responsible for it. But today, we're going to look at what will happen when you drown. Welcome to Experience Mashing. My name is Zizep, and in this video, I'm going to take you a journey through the universe in this bedroom. You are a passionate traveler. You have bungee jumped, you have skydived, you have done almost every extreme sports ever in the world. But this time, you have decided to help Professor Michael to investigate in what will it feel like when you are drowning. So, naturally, on a sunny Wednesday, you, Professor Michael, with the world's most advanced ship together, sailed into the ocean. Now, obviously, Michael have to make sure that you don't die, and to simultaneously achieve his requirement for the experiment, he needs to make sure that you experience a non-fatal drowning. Or does he? Because sometimes drowning can do irreversible damage to a human body without actually making him die. So what you really need is a non-harmful drown. Now, let's look at some equipment Michael have for you. We have a thin iron magnetic tube which extends underwater, and you're being equipped with a swimming glass, a radio device, and a bodysuit which attached to the tube. And on there is a monitor which sends back your body status data back to Michael. And Michael is going to use these data first of all for his study, and when he sees your monitor turns code red, he will immediately pull the trigger and your body will get sent up to the surface where immediate recovery surgery will be taken place. And after that, you can enjoy your $100,000 prize. You actually feel pretty confident about the setup. After you took a deep breath, you sink underwater, and here you are in the deep aqua arena. Now, in the first 30 seconds, you wouldn't actually feel any different. It is as if you were just swimming in your home pool. And whilst you enjoy the amazing view of the coral reef and the tropical fish, you suddenly recall a memory back when you were 9, when you were playing that breath-holding game with your friends. You are now in the stage 1 of drowning called voluntary breath held. Typically, if you only experienced this stage, you are not considered drowning. In this stage, your brain are able to control your body not to inhale. And how long you can do that depends on your age. Typically, the younger you are, the shorter amount of time you can hold your breath. It also depends on your training of holding breath. The world record for the breath held is 24 minutes by Bodimir Sobat in 2020. So, if you're a Sobat, you literally just stay in water for like 20 minutes while Michael just yelling at you in the radio, "Hey, why are you still holding your breath? How can you do that?" But you are not him. So after about 30 seconds, you suddenly feel a burst of dizziness on the top of your head. Your vision becomes more and more blurry and sometimes yellowish. You can also sense your heart beating faster and faster. You start to feel an urge of wanting to breathe in because your brain knows that if you didn't breathe in, 100% you will die. But if you did breathe in, there is a slim chance that you might survive. So this urge of wanting to breathe in keeps getting stronger and stronger. Normally, you want to swim up, but you remember that you've came here for $100,000 and your body have been stationalized by the magnetic tube. So, whilst you hear Michael talking annoyingly in the audio, "Hey buddy, just stay still, stay calm, nothing is impossible, you can do it," you start hating this creep dude. You start regretting your decision. But there is no return. As the urge of breathing becomes stronger and stronger, finally, you breathed in. Suddenly, a burst of water rushes into your mouth. This water travels from your mouth to the epiglottis, which is a valve that controls whether the delivery from your mouth should go to the lung or the stomach. In this case, it's the lung. So, the water flows in. It goes to your larynx, which is your vocal cord, to the trachea, which is a big hollow tube for oxygen flow. After that, the water flows to the bronchial, which is a system of tube, which getting smaller and smaller. And finally, at the microscopic level, we've reached the alveoli. The alveoli is sort of like a grape-shaped stone thingy, and it is the place where gas exchange are taking place. But normally, when you're breathing, it's normally the oxygen that reaches the alveoli. But in this case, it is water, and water is not good for your lungs. Your lungs cannot absorb and digest water, so it naturally activated the cough reflex. Thus, you coughed. So normally, when you accidentally sucked in some water, you can just cough them out, right? But now, you are literally inside water. So when you are coughing, you literally suck more water inside your lung. In this emergency situation, your body undergoes an emergency process called a rhinospasm, which means the vocal cords inside the larynx literally shut no more water can flow into your lung. But remember, there is no oxygen left. As the oxygen level keeps getting smaller and smaller in your blood, your vision more and more black, and finally, you lose your conscious. Now, in the previous stage of drowning, your body have a deficiency of oxygen, so it undergoes hypoxia. But now, there are no oxygen left, so it undergoes anoxia. This is pretty fatal to your body. There are no oxygen left, and this leads to so many troubles. First of all, you will notice, well, you wouldn't notice because you have literally gone unconscious, but your body functions will start to break down one by one. But most importantly, your brain is getting damaged. Now, brain is the most complicated organ in the human system, and it consists of nearly 80 million neurons. And these neurons, they need oxygen to operate. Without oxygen, they start dying one by one. And this process is irreversible, which means if you got rescued, the neuron lost in your brain, they won't come back. Now, it is at this moment your monitor sends a code red signal to Michael. And Michael sees this, he immediately pulls the trigger up, and your body immediately gets sent back to the surface. If you were to stay down there for a longer time, your brain neuron would die more, and you would suffer a harmful but non-fatal drowning. And if you were to stay down there for even a longer time, you would actually die, and this is called a fatal drowning. Once you reach the surface, you would imagine that you start breathing deeply and deeply, but the reality is you didn't, because your inhaling reflex has literally shut down due to anoxia. So a burst of people rush into the room to rescue you. So when people are rescuing drowning people, there are mainly two steps they need to take. First is a rescue breathing, which involves inhaling and exhaling airs for you by them using a plastic hollow tube. And second, if this doesn't work, they will undergo a system of process called CPR, which means cardiac pulmonary resuscitation. Now, this is a very complicated process, which I will not be covered because our ship is very advanced and it has some amazing equipment which allows you to recover in minutes. And after a few minutes, you regain your consciousness. But the first thing that you notice is that your lung is starting to burn, like you are literally in lava. This is because the water is still in your lungs. And oh dear, lungs do not like water. So the rescuer told you to lie down, and they literally start to push the water out of your lungs. Now, this is actually a very important process because not all people will experience a lung burn after being rescued from drowning. Some people will not, and they will think, they are just fully recovered, they are just fine. But they are actually not. There will still be water remaining in their lungs, and if they do not push the water out of it, they will suffer what's called a dry drowning after a few hours. Dry drowning is literally drowning without external water, but that is as fatal as literal drowning. So next time, if you accidentally sucked a little bit of water but never spilled them out, remember to have someone push the water out of your lungs. As the water are all pushed out of your mouth, you suddenly feel a slight light delight out of your head. You feel like that every suffer was worth it. And at this moment, Michael walked into the room with his member of the crew. They all applauded. Michael appreciated you for all the help you have done for him. But there is still a question inside your head that remains unsolved. So naturally, you asked it to Michael. Michael, what will happen if I stay down there for a longer time? The atmosphere in the room suddenly changed. Michael saw you ask him the question. He's invited you to sit down. He says, well, if you were to stay down for a longer time, your brain's all neuron will have died out and you would become a plant person. Even after that, if you were rescued, you wouldn't be able to think and communicate. And if you would stay down there for a longer time, your cardiac cycle would have arrested and you would have died. Well, I suddenly realized how grateful life is. I will read every instructor and watch every lifeguard lessons once I get back to home. Yes, life is short. We should value them. And actually, you know what? You remind me of a memory when I was 9 years old. I was playing this kind of game with my friend. We are competing who can have the longest breath. And one of my friends, he literally died was practicing. We are just not aware of the gravity of the situation. I hope I know it earlier. Well, anyway, thank you for your help for our experiment. We have gathered a lot of data. But most importantly, here is your $100,000. Congratulations! All of the members in the room applauded, and you felt a burst of energy rushing up your head. This day was truly worth it. As you walked out of the ship, you looked back at the sea. As the sun sets on this world, you remind yourself, we are young and life is fun. We should value it and make the most of it. But we should also subscribe and like this video and comment down below your thoughts and confusions about these videos. And we should also remind ourselves that only a small percentage of people that watches my video are actually